I've cried rivers, I've cried storms, since the night my tail was gone. Gunfire stole what love had grown. Now I walk this road alone. Trauma's heavy, pain runs deep. Bullying words cut wounds that keep. Drugs and bottles, they don't heal. Just numb the truth of what is real. Breaking the cycle, Lord, hear my cry. Breaking the cycle, too many die. Breaking the cycle, put him for the children, I'll carry the flame. Breaking the cycle, I'll call out his name. Breaking the cycle.
Two Faces of a Mother's Grief here on 93.7 The Ticket. We are here with a jam-packed studio here. We want to welcome back Marlina Bowdery, of course, the host of the show. Marlina, how's it going this week? You've brought in a whole host of folks in here with you.
Yes, I did.
All right, let's go around and make sure we get our introductions. We'll start from my left here. Please just introduce your name and maybe how you know Marlina.
My name is Rashida, and I am Marlina's sister-in-law. I'm married to her brother, Tyrone.
There we go. All right, next.
My name is Layla. I know her through, well, I just met her, but my son knew her.
Okay.
My name is Kyra Miller, and I know Marlina through family, but more so after we both have lost our children.
And my name is Regina Sullivan, and I know Marlina because she is my sister in grief.
Very. Oh.
All right, Marlina. Let's kind of get this show rolling a little bit here. Why did you decide to bring in your friends here that we just met?
Well, they are my sisters in grief. Well, today we did a virtual Still Our Children. So we did something today in honor of our children. So we did like a pajama theme party with we did a Zoom with many other sisters in grief. And it's a day for us to be able to, remember our children, to speak about our children, and again to let people know that our children are still our children. So, yeah.
Yeah, and this is, of course, we've done a few shows here, but it might be some of the listeners' first time tuning into the show. You kind of hit on it a little bit there, but what is Faces of a Mother's Grief all about?
In the Faces of a Mother's Grief is for those who have lost their children. And, we go through different phases, through our grief, and the faces are totally different. The way my son was murdered, her son died of a drug overdose. Her son was murdered. Her son died of a drug overdose. And my sister-in-law, Rashida, her baby died of an infant death.
Is there? And do you find that among the types of deaths, is there more bonding with that, or is it just kind of a shared bonding through the loss of obviously a child?
The bonding for me personally, I think it's instant because we speak a language that no one outside of mothers who have lost a child. We understand each other without even speaking. We know each other's pain without. I don't have to say anything to Rashida or to Layla or to Kyra or to my sister Regina. We know the pain of the loss of a child. Every day that we wake up, we live the death of our children. So I don't have to explain to them the pain that I endure. They know.
And it's kind of interesting too to get into these themes that you're kind of talking about, a pajama party theme. It's who kind of comes up with that and what goes into. I mean, everybody likes a pajama party.
Marlena.
I wanted to be able to bring something different for us as being grieving mothers. Like, look at me today. My grief is not pretty today at all. So sometimes, we sit around the house in our pajamas, just going through, grieving the loss of our children. And in our living room or in our bedroom, this is where grieving mothers be at. So we lit a candle today for our children, which I did not know there was like a candle for a child all over the world, a remembrance of your children. I didn't know it was that today, but I planned it for today.
Interesting.
All right, and let's go ahead. I know a strong thing that's kind of been left on me when Marlena does these shows is to say your child's name and to tell their story. So let's go around the room and kind of tell the story of why why we're here in this room.
With me again.
Yes.
Rashida. Okay.
Yeah, we can start with you, Rashida.
Well, my son's name is Tyreek Rashid Omar. Sounds like a name you would put on a football player, huh?
Yes.
But Tyreek Rashid. Tyreek Rashid was born, stillborn. I birthed him at my mom's home. Up until his birth, I knew I was giving birth to a healthy baby. So that was a shocker in itself. And I guess the living with him, the bonding and all that came with having a child inside of you, going with the child, looking for all the, the special things as the child grows, like the melon size, and, the comparisons and the kicking and the hiccups that you experienced, went through all that, as I did with his sister and brother, and him being, which would have been my last child. And to go forth and not be able to bring him home was devastating and traumatic for me. And then to have family members not understand and be able to correlate with my feelings of grief and calling it like just a miscarriage or just, something that a mother goes through. Like these things happen all the time, and not understanding the feelings that I was going through and the grief that I was going through. So it was a very hard time for me during that time. So this year was my first time I spoke with my family about how they made me feel during that time. So yeah, and I think that this movement that Marlena has started actually helped me do that. So I'm very grateful to Marlena for that.
Did that help you in talking to your family about it? Was this kind of something that you kind of maybe had boiled up or bottled up a little bit?
It really did.
Yeah.
It was something that was always in the back of my mind, how they made me feel during that time. And mind you, this was in 97.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so I've held that for a long time. And, I hung out with my family members. I love them, but they always move like, stay strong. You're fine. Move on, move along. But yeah, but because of this Sisters of Grief and this movement that Marlena started, it really helped me encapsulate and bring it to their attention on how they made me feel during that time.
Well, that is good to hear that you're able to get it off your chest after
Yep.
decades of having to kind of.
And I'm the
work
type
through that.
person who speaks what's on their mind, but
Yeah.
it was that thing that I just couldn't speak on because of how we were raised. We were raised to be strong, do not cry, move past it, stay strong.
Mhm.
So yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and again continue around the room.
My name is Layla, and Aaron Preston Chewy, my son. And 3 weeks before his 28th birthday, he passed away from an overdose. And He loved life, was in love with her niece for 12 years. They dated. And, sorry. Yeah, 12 years dated her niece, Miko, and just lived life very large. They traveled a lot together in the last couple of years of his life. Florida, South Dakota, um, just lived life large. And had big plans, was going to marry her and start a family. And unfortunately, he's in heaven. But he left us in about the last year and a half of his life. He started saying, be settled. He said that a lot in text messages. And he'd ask me a question on something and he'd come back, instead of saying thank you right away, he'd say, be settled. I was like, what? And it's now tattooed on my arm along with his signature from a letter. But it's something that our family has really held on to. His girlfriend has it on her. It was her first tattoo.
Oh wow.
And it's just something that has really helped us, and I really feel like God gave him that message, and has really grounded us, because it's just okay. I had to make that choice: be settled in God, be settled in God's word, be settled in my faith, because I never had that closure with him. So it's been the hardest thing ever, the last 3.5 years, and always will miss him, always, but I need to share his message to be settled.
Yes.
I started speaking again in the jail. And, I told the chaplain, I said, okay, I came back too soon. I can't do this. And I was in church, and this girl comes, I walked up to my daughter, and this girl was talking to her, and she turns to me and she starts crying, and she goes, you? I go, me? And she goes, you shared be settled with me in jail. She goes, I went back to my cell and just cried and cried and cried and accepted God as my savior. And thank you so much for sharing that. I was like, okay, thank you. I'm still not coming back. but yeah, so it's I'm so thankful that that he gave us that message unknowingly.
Yeah.
So yeah, be settled.
That's incredible. So I mean, again, it can kind of show you the impact somebody's life can have beyond their time here on Earth, and you carry that with you every day.
Oh, and so many of his friends were like, "Oh my word, he said that to me all the time." I was just thought he was telling me to like shut up. And, it means so much more now, which he probably was telling me to shut up. So yeah, he settled, leave me alone.
I like that a lot too. Be settled. I like that a lot.
Oh, even
like
the tattoo artist was like, "Man, that is like the cool way of like saying like." Shut the F up. I'm like, oh, okay. All right. But yeah, it was just, I think that God just knew what was coming. And there were so many things that the Lord did for us. Aaron, like Miko surprised him, said, we're going to go to South Dakota. And they went for his birthday. And then they went again. And then he said, Mom, we need to take a family vacation. And anytime that Gina and I would do something big, we would discuss it. My husband is he's very good with money. I'm a spender. And so lying in bed one night, and Aaron just kept saying, I take family vacation. We have 4 grandchildren. And I just realized, man, we've never taken family vacation with everybody. Anyway, long story short, I booked the trip while Mr. Chile was sleeping. I looked over, I'm like, yeah, I'm not running this by him, because he was just, no. And I booked the trip. Actually, Miko and Aaron looked up and found this cabin that was just amazing, fit us all. The only time the cabin was open was on Aaron's birthday. I mean, God just worked out all these details. So, you never know. Yeah. So I'm going to be settled in all those memories, and look what, got some new friends here tonight.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, again, the impact can continue. All right, let's continue ourselves around the room.
Sure. My son's name is Gabriel Maurice Miller. He was 21 when he passed away in November 7th, 2020. And what I want to share about him is just his sense of humor, his easygoing. He was quiet. He was definitely a defender of the underdog, and I miss him. I miss him. Our whole family misses him, and through his passing, I think the biggest lesson we've all learned is just to appreciate every day.
Absolutely. Let's continue around.
Well, I just wanted to say, as far as she stated, her son um, gave the message, like be settled. I feel like, through our lives that our children, um, they prepare us, and us not knowing, same thing with my son Tim is, when you lose a child, let me just go back. So when people say they had like a near death experience, they always say that their life flashed before their eyes. So when you lose your child, from the time that you carried your child till you gave birth to your child, every milestone, their life flashed before your eyes just as well. So as I'm going through, just everything just going forward. And it's just, you know, I'm like, my son prepared me for this moment. So my son prepared me to live this life without him. And I didn't have a clue. So yeah, that's all I want to say.
Marvin Sullivan was the light of my life. He was everything. He was a good kid. He was very protective of his little sister. He loved his family, and he was actually the favorite cousin. All the kids wanted to be around Marvin and all the things. Marvin died of a drug overdose in 2020. Um, After his death, the person that he was with, instead of calling me, they got on Facebook and videoed his body, and she invited a friend up to buy his clothes and all his shoes because he was very sharp dressing. And then from that point, I still hadn't heard my son's death. My friends and family were calling me, and I was like, I'm at work. Why are they calling me? And finally, the police came to the door and said, we have something to tell you. And your son passed away of an overdose. And that's where we were with that. So I went through all the emotions, all the depression. I thought I had, no, I did. I lost my mind. I absolutely lost my mind. I couldn't sleep anymore. I would get out in the middle of the night and just tour the city of Lincoln trying to find my son. And I was just looking for him. I just wanted a sign that he was still with us, but it wasn't. So I decided to start a nonprofit in his honor because I didn't want another mother to join this exclusive club. This is the worst club in America. I didn't want to be here, and I came in hot because I was pissed. I was mad. I was mad at his so-called friends. I was mad at the lady that he died with, and she has his baby. I haven't seen that baby since he's been 3 months old. I was mad because I didn't deserve this. I didn't deserve this at all, but because they made choices, I had to suffer. And so this nonprofit is for number one, we're going to break down stigma about addiction, overdose, all those things that people think they know about. They do not. They have no clue. Marvin was sick. Marvin was going through probably 9 years of active addiction and would have seizures over and over and over again. That's an addict. You don't stop what you're doing, and your lifestyle's at stake here. Your brain matters at stake. He would not stop. So with that being said, that made me know that he was going through his own mental health episodes because of the drug use. This nonprofit is going to help people. We are here to help people, not hurt people. We're here to make a difference in this community because we don't talk about it like we should, especially the stigma. Especially, we're doing Narcan trainings. We're trying to make a difference out here, and we will, because no more deaths too soon. So that's my message.
That's right. That's right, sis.
Yeah, absolutely. Powerful message from all of you guys. And I know, no story is the same. But it's encouraging, and it's cool to see, kind of come together to make change and move forward, with the battles that you have on your own, and try to help others, that battle will be coming along. As this kind of community has come together, how much of it is identifying with each other and at the same time going through a different battle? Because I know there can be probably some it can kind of calm you a little bit to feel that you're not alone. But at the same time, it's just everybody's battle is so different.
I don't think that the differences really make make a difference, because at the end of the day we all lost our child. So we can relate to each other, we can relate to the experiences we have, afterwards with our family, with friends. It's amazing to see who sticks by your side, who's supportive, who comes to your side when you have a loss like that, and it's never the people that you think it's going to be. So I think even though the situation is so different, it's actually very similar.
I think our battle to healing is the same, but my individual battle is a lot different. Since Marvin's death, people have been coming at me. His so-called friends, they come for me. You didn't do this and you didn't do that. That's my son. That's my only favorite son. What are you talking about? How are you talking to me like that? Where's your respect? And there is none. So, it's a journey. It's a journey of battling people. I've even had to battle my family for stick because they are stigmatized from head to toe. They don't want to even talk about Marvin anymore. And before he died, they had things to say that were stigma, telling me that they're too bad, they're too good for him to help me get him together. My brother, he didn't want nothing to do with my son. This is what family does. So the battle is definitely different.
Yeah, I definitely struggle with that just as well with the death of my child, with Tim. Like you stated, the people who you thought would be there would not be there at all, and they, the gossip of how he died or why he died, and so you have to hear all of these stories. Like, this is not my real life. Like, this is not his children' real life. Like, this is not his children. I mean, his siblings' real life. So, my son was murdered. So I was angry with a lot of people, especially the people who took my child's life, who did not have the right to take my son's life. So, our stories are different. But as far as like the grieving process it's like it's the same. As far as waking up every day and our children die all over again, or our meltdowns, or if we having a good day today, about the blue, then with the a blink of an eye, we bawl and we crying our eyes out like, okay, then I just had a good moment just 5 minutes ago. So what's going on? Or so, we share those experiences and everything, just alike. Just a smell or a song or somebody looking like our child walking down the street like, they look like Tim. And so we go through stuff every single day. Is grieving the loss of a child. It's a journey and it's a struggle daily to stay above ground. So yeah.
And as you're going through it too, I kind of think of this very cool community that you started in working together and helping each other. Is it hard to bring on somebody that's kind of recently experienced? I mean, because I can only imagine, being somewhat of an empathetic person, to kind of see somebody new going through that struggle. You've already been to hell. It kind of brings back flashes of that.
We're drawn to them.
Yeah.
I think we're drawn to
It's the
them.
best
Like, I
sign.
think they're
Yeah.
drawn to us, and nobody understands it like we do.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we at one time were that person. So we definitely have to sympathize with them.
Yeah.
'Cause we all needed a village. And
Yeah.
here we are.
Absolutely. And it makes a world of difference, just to know that I have them. This is my sister in grief. And I love my sister in grief. Like Layla, I met her today. That's my sister in grief. I love my sister in grief. There's nothing that I wouldn't do for my sister in grief. It was nothing that I wouldn't do. So no, this is my family. This is my family. They understand what others do not understand at all. So, but now the movement for me is, as I stated when I first got here and when I lost my son, that the world gonna know who my son is, and the world's gonna know who our children is, and to our children, to other people, our children existed. No, our children exist. So it's in a different form, and even with the like what I got going on, or like Marvin Lee in honor of Marvin. That's us mothering our children.
Yes.
So we mothering our children in a different way. We can't mother them physically, but we have to be able to mother our children in a different way, and that keeps us sane, keep us going, keeping their memories alive. And for me, it's important for grieving mothers to have a voice. It's very important for us to be vocal. As my sister-in-law stated, she's very vocal. But since the beginning of time, dealing with grief, that's like you don't talk about that. So once the funeral is over with,
You
we're
move on.
not gonna talk about it.
Yeah,
So
you're
it's
supposed to move on.
yeah.
You're not supposed to talk about it anymore.
So
So
unhealthy.
we're gonna we taking back our voice.
Mm-hmm.
We taking back our voice and giving mothers the right to be able to speak about their children. So I don't care what, like, Christmas is coming around the corner. So like me, I'm gonna have a shirt with my son picture on it. And I'm probably on the back. Ask a question about him. Say Tim name. Say something. We're gonna talk about my child, my son, unapologetically. And if you do not want me around or to say my child's name, then that space is not for me. And that's for all mothers around this world.
And as you bring that up too, and I know you've mentioned before, kind of get everybody's feelings on it too, is the holiday season coming up, and I'm sure there are different phases and years where that's more welcome than others. Is the holiday season especially difficult for grieving mothers?
Yes.
Most definitely.
Mm-hmm.
This is the worst season of the grief. And for me, after the holidays, now I got Marvin's birthday's in January, so I got another additional holiday to deal with. So it's very hard, and I know when it's coming around because I start dragging and don't want to be around people and just get that sadness, and it just kind of hits you. Like tonight, I was headed to her house for the Zoom. I was going down the wrong street, just rolling, thinking I know where I'm going. I was like, oh, this ain't even it. So I turned and then took another wrong turn and went the other way. Had to come all the way back to her house because I'm in grief. I'm dealing with it. This is what it does.
And you be tired, exhausted. I just cannot say it enough. You be so tired, you can't get up out of bed, and you're just tired, and it weighs heavy on you, very heavy.
Yeah. My
Yeah.
son was born December 29th. So yeah, it hits hard. Even years later. We talking about 2 decades later. And I still think about him and have to live without him, in those moments. Every morning I wake up, there's still Tyreek on my mind. And so during the holidays, my favorite holidays are not the holidays everybody think about anymore. It's my only holidays that I love now are birthdays. I call birthdays holidays. I'm so happy to go out and celebrate every birthday. I love birthdays. So those are my holidays now, and Valentine's Day because it's showing love. So those are my only holidays that I really like to celebrate. So
As moms, we are the ones that get our kids ready for sporting events in school, and gotta look good for the school pictures, and kindergarten and all that kind of stuff, graduation, prepare them for all this stuff. And my husband and I were watching the show one time, and I was like, oh, I do that, and I get them ready for all this stuff years ago, and and then because it was a show about I can't remember, it was like talking about all the things that the moms do, and I was like, that's me, and about the parent and stuff like that. But this was the one time that I couldn't undo it. I couldn't fix it. I didn't know how to walk my girls through this. I didn't know how to walk my 4 grandchildren through it, and I couldn't undo it. I couldn't wake them up. I couldn't, we were at the scene, and the police were like, you can go home. And I was like, I'm not leaving. I'm not going to see my son for the first time in cold. I will see him warm. Oh, that's against protocol. I was like, well, we're breaking protocol tonight. And, by the grace of God, I got my way, they told me just I could, see him, but you can't touch him. And I was like, but that's not going to work because everybody's here. Is, fiance's here. Is, sisters are here. Everybody's here. Grandparents. I mean, we're all going to see him. Oh, I can't do that. I mean, like, again, God, the police ended up finally just giving in to me because they knew I wasn't going to go anywhere. I was not going to take protocol for an answer. Ended up forming a circle around us. You can't touch him. I was like, okay. Gave him 50 kisses on his forehead. I mean, God was good to us.
Yes, he
And,
was. I was there for that. Yes, I heard it. They let her have
she
her
knows
way.
I'm not lying. I was like, no, we're not taking this, because I wasn't going to see him for the first time like that. I mean, it was just, but my point is, it was the first time as all of us that we can't undo this. We couldn't fix it. We didn't have the answer. I didn't know. I still don't know how to shepherd my girls through this because I don't know. I've never done it. Never done it. And, she shared something that her daughter told her tonight, that she shared with us in our other setting at her house tonight. I was like, wow,
Yeah.
20 years later.
Yeah. My daughter, when I birthed Tyreek, my daughter forever thought that I dropped Tyreek and that's why he didn't live. And I just found that out this year. And so, yeah.
And I didn't know for a year that my granddaughters never even knew how he left them. I was like, wait, what? And he was everything to them. Everything. When we got his phone back, my daughter goes, is there any pictures of the kids? And I was like, his photo album is just of him and Miko on trips. And I was like, oh gosh, I don't know how to break this to him. Finally, she goes, check his Snapchat. And I was like, I don't have Snapchat. So I was like, I don't know. I don't know how to get into that. And she told me, oh my gosh, 5 years of proud uncle, proud uncle, proud uncle. I was like, oh, thank you, Jesus. I mean, there was so much video and I didn't even know he took him to the park all the time and all this stuff. I'm like, wow, okay. I mean, and I had no idea that nobody sat these kids down and told them what happened. They just knew Uncle's gone. Oh, Lord. So, as moms, we have all the answers. We know where they're, I don't know where to find this. Go look under the bed, in the drawer, in the bed, it's in the
Yes.
closet, back of the closet.
Yes.
We know where everything is.
Yes.
One time Aaron went to Florida to see his cousins for 4 weeks for the summer when he was a teenager. Oh, his room stunk so bad. I was like, what is going on? And as the weeks went on, it got worse. Kept going in there. I'm like, Aaron, I can find everything. I could not pinpoint the smell. That boy had 60 eggs that you buy in the box.
Yeah.
Under his bed because they were going to egg somebody.
You forgot
That was
about
probably the first time I failed as a mom with that kid.
First time.
First time I failed as a mom with that kid because I could find everything with him. I'm like, oh, he did not. He got me on that one. But anyway, as moms, this is probably the first time for all of us that we could not undo it. We can't undo it. We can't bring him back. It hit me last night. I was going to sit down and watch a movie and it came out. I was just bawling and I was like, telling Regina on the way to her house, I was like, it hit me so boom, it hit you like that.
Yes.
It hit you in the grocery store.
That one.
Yes.
It hit you in the grocery store. You're in my son loves Mexican food. I'm in the Mexican food just trying to get a taco packet. And I'm like, and this guy's going, you okay? Yeah, you got time? You telling strangers about your son, like,
Yes.
you asked if I was okay.
Yeah.
So yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's very interesting, especially kind of as you're talking about, not everybody even gets the full story as you guys go through your grieving process, obviously you still have to have more than the role of the mother, right? And that's got to be the most difficult thing for a mother. And then there's all these questions, the different things kind of going around. And then, like you said, and part of what you guys are doing, I think, is to take back the narrative and make sure the stories are told, right? So that it's just not secondhand information, or you hear a little bit, but you don't really know all of it. And so it's crazy to see, people that are close to you and maybe even family members not know exactly kind of why, I don't want to say why you're frustrated, but all the reasons and that everything came to play.
Yeah.
You jump from going to, oh my gosh, I can't imagine seeing your friends go through, or somebody go through something like this, to now you don't have to imagine. You're here.
Yep. The worst nightmare that came true.
And even like explaining to people, okay, this is a bad time of the year for me. and then maybe you act a little irrational or get upset easily or irritated, and it starts a fight. Like sometimes it
Yeah.
feels better just to be by yourself.
Absolutely. And that's what you call where people they push you into isolation
Yeah.
without even knowing that that's exactly what they are doing. It's pushing you into just why you don't come out, or well, you better call, or we don't too much just talk to you, or you are totally different. Yeah, thanks to you to somewhat,
Hmm.
because you put me here. I can't be myself, or if you see me not being myself, or if I'm upset or acting irrational, or maybe I'm angry and my anger don't have anything to do with you. Just ask like, hey, is something going on? Like when you want to talk about it, it makes a world of difference when a person, like, just
Can
don't take
understand.
it personal. Don't take what I got going on. Don't take it
Because
personal.
we
And if
do
you,
so much for
yes,
everybody throughout the year, and even just like, okay, this is my time right now. Like
yeah,
you have to set your boundaries and definitely like let people know that this is my time right now. And just
Yeah.
like afford us the same.
Maybe
Yeah, I've
grace.
always
Mhm.
given, but I can't give anymore.
When I set boundaries, I got gaslighted to the fullest.
Mm.
Was told you're overreacting, get over it, things like that. I had to yell from the top of my steps yesterday at one of my family members.
mm,
No more gaslighting. We're done. I told you this 5 years ago, and here we are again visiting this. There's no gaslighting. I said you all did what you did and said what you said when Marvin was alive. When he died, you act like he's not here. No more gaslighting. You act like he never existed. I mean, no more gaslighting. He still exists. In my
absolutely,
heart, look at Marlena, his daughter. He still exists.
yes,
She acts just like him. He still exists.
absolutely.
He may not be physically here, but he still exists. And I
They
was
made a
told,
difference to a
yeah,
lot of people,
most definitely,
Hmm.
most definitely.
and it lives on in
Hmm.
them.
It does
That's right. And we will forever say their names, speak their
forever.
names. Absolutely.
I do think too, from from maybe listeners out there that are kind of maybe even in a similar situation, know somebody that's passed away recently. Is is uh is there a way to go about asking about your? I mean, would you rather have people ask than not ask? I assume, but do
Tell
you?
stories. Tell
Yeah.
stories. Like tell us what
Mhm.
you remember. That's the best.
That's the
I think.
best thing to do.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And is there? I mean, you don't have to. Do you have to like wait till the right time is present, or I mean, because I know people would be worried about maybe getting you in your feelings or upset. Would you just prefer, like you said, kind of one way or the other, tell stories
I have
approach?
people who call me all the time, like, "Hey, I had a dream about your son," and I appreciate it so
Yeah,
much. Like,
Yes.
even if it's
yeah,
like, "Okay,
Yes.
thank you,"
yeah.
like they'll call me and tell me they had a dream about him, or I saw this and this reminded me of them, and that's more appreciated than
It
anybody.
is.
It
Yes,
doesn't have to
indeed.
be, you know, set off by anything or a conversation. Like just somebody calling me and be like, "Hey, I just thought about this time I had with Gabe," and that might be the extent of the conversation, but it means a lot.
And we sad in a way, so hey, you can't make us no sadder. So our life is our reality. Our
Yeah.
reality is our life.
Hmm.
So it's if you feel like you want to ask a question, ask it. So if it's not a right time, it's ask it. So we'll let you know. Like, hey,
Mhm.
right now I'm struggling, and I'll get back with you. And more than likely, we will get back with you. But it's ask. Yeah.
One
Yeah.
day at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess too now I've seen Marlena, of course, do a couple of shows here, and I guess I figured a little bit that I didn't know this was as much of a local community. How much is it now? Kind of getting together and being both local and online with other grieving mothers.
Yeah, it's big as far as like men facing face up a mother's grief. I have like 172,000
Mm.
followers, and I deal with hundreds of grieving mothers. I deal with a lot of them, and like the community as far as physically, is growing, and so we got plans for 2026. So, like I said, this community is worldwide, and I want the voice to be loud, very, very loud. So I want to be able to push, like for a lot of grieving mothers, like the death of my son, I have a purpose. I knew immediately what my purpose were. My son was killed, and so for me, it's for me advocate for grieving mothers and having other grieving mothers um, to mother their child, like Marvel Lee.
Yep.
she
Yeah.
lost her child to a drug addiction.
Yep. So we started a nonprofit so we could help our community and start healing.
And then I have another grieving sister, Latonya Davis. She lost her oldest child. A guy cut her daughter's throat in front of her 3 children. She have a nonprofit organization, Savita, um, for domestic violence. And then I have another grieving sister. Her name is Tina Mosley. Her son Marcus was killed, and so she have a nonprofit organization in the honor of her son, and she's doing major things. So my thing of this all over the world, I want grieving mothers to be able to honor their children, mother their children, and like just bring the community together. So it's about breaking that cycle,
Yes.
speaking our children's name and not being quiet. People telling us, even with the psychiatrist, May the 15th through no, May the 15th through May the 17th, I'm going to have a grieving mothers retreat. But the first day we're going to have a grieving mothers panel, where it's in my plan to have like psychiatrists and counselors on a panel where we can have those discussions with them, so they can properly deal with grieving mothers, not give misinformation. So we want to give them, no, you can't tell me how to be a grieving mother, what I'm doing wrong at being a grieving mother if you never walk my shoes. So a lot of grieving mothers have been put in like a mental institution because they was told they was crazy.
Yep.
So it's we go through a whole lot. So the world have re-traumatized us, traumatized us, judged us, and we done been through so much in life. And I'm saying right now, we're not having it. It's over with. So yeah.
That's very interesting, especially with that panel. Is there, I guess, everybody's situation, I'm sure, is different, but is there an opportunity? I mean, when this sort of stuff happens, is there somebody there to give you an idea about counseling, or somebody that could go or support, or is that kind of why you kind of thinking through that is that could be helpful? Obviously, counseling can help anybody that's struggling, but it can be also expensive and that sort of stuff.
Well, counseling is always good. So I would never tell anyone to not receive counseling when they feel like it's necessary. However, it's the type of counseling that you're doing. The counselor have to be
Aware.
of like my son was a sudden death, and so they're saying that with sudden death, I'm gonna go through these different stages because my son was killed. I'm gonna go through these different stages, but the stages that they say that I'm gonna go through, it's so many. I could go through many stages at one time, and so the psychiatrists, the counselors, they don't have an idea of it. So I could give them, like this is my reality or this is our reality because our children was killed. We could tell you what it is. So you be able to, study us or let us be able to tell you what it is. And then it's like a give and take. They could give us some information that could be beneficial, that could help us as well as we grieve the loss of our children. But the same token too, you can't put a grieving mother in the hospital telling her that she's wrong for grieving the loss of her child. She's wrong for crying daily for the loss of her child. She's wrong for waking up and reliving the death of her child all over again. This is our reality, So yeah, it would be a give and take.
I went to therapy, counseling on several levels, but found out that my people was at Morning Hope because these people had took a loss. They knew what we were talking about. We were talking the same language. I enjoyed being around them, even though we were all sad, but I understood them and they understood me. So that helped me. So therapy and counseling, it's not for everybody. I needed to find my people. Even with Layla, I met her through a mutual friend, and we circled around each other for a couple of years before we finally got together. And she started a grief support group a year ago. And we met 1 year yesterday. We had a luncheon this past Saturday. We have been together 1 year. So you got to find your community out here. You got to find your people.
And I think when you experience a loss so deep, you really search out those connections too. Like I wish that I could say there was something that, I've always thought about, like, hearing these cases and like going and providing that support for them. But I think right now, eventually those moms and dads come and find you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, coming from where I'm from, it's a no-no. You don't talk to counselors, you don't talk to psychiatrists. Like, it's a whole stigma with that. Like, you're weak if you talk to psychologists and with therapists, like that's a big no.
Mm.
So during my time and my grieving, I really like to suck it up.
Mm-hmm.
Suck that shit up, you know,
Really?
and do not, be strong.
Mm-hmm.
Get over it.
But if they
Move
haven't gone
past
through
it.
it, how helpful is it really?
Yeah.
I don't think it's helpful.
But, I know that many of the people I grew up with had many losses coming from where I'm from
Mm-hmm.
because there were many shootings and killings. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. So
they're
there were
the
many
most
people
helpful.
shot and killed, many, overdoses and all those things, but those people moved around like nothing was happening. But you could see the traumatic experiences or the issues show up in them in other versions or in other issues with them where, like anger, anger arguments or fights and, or it showed up in other shootings. You know what I'm saying? Like it came out, but in bad ways. Whereas maybe if they had help or a group or a therapist
Or to be just be able to talk about
to
it.
talk
because-
about or be able to talk
Support.
about it and get that off of them or be able to vent, it would have I think things would have been better.
Yes, because my grandmother, she lost 3 or 4 children
Mhm.
before she transitioned, but
Mhm.
I felt like everything was okay. But I just
Yeah.
always see her, throughout, like she had this stare, or she would have this sadness, or she'll be okay. And I couldn't understand that until I lost my son. And so it's the stare that we have. And I can see a mother out anywhere, and I can tell if she lost a child just by that stare that we have. But I couldn't understand it at all until I lost my son. Until I lost my child.
It's a heaviness to it.
Absolutely. Well, let's go ahead and take a quick break. We can come back and wrap things up. We still just got to take a few commercials, then we'll be back with Faces of a Mother's Grief. We'll continue the conversation next year on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Thank you.
These friend get-togethers and family gatherings, which means lots of eating. Maybe you think you've perfected your holiday meals, and maybe you have no idea where to even start. Let's fix that right now. No holiday party is complete without Führer's cheese spread. It goes well with any type of cracker, pretzels, apples, chili, vegetable chips, and of course, it's perfect to pair with wine or beer. Holiday meals aren't complete until Führer's cheese spread is on the table. Find your own container at your nearest local grocery store today.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Hey guys, it's Carly from Boyd Farm Outfitters. Farmers, the Nebraska Ag Expo is coming up on December 9th through 11th at the Sandhills Global Event Center, and we'd love to see you there. Our team will be in 2 places at once, in the Boyd Farm Outfitters booth and the Green Eye Technology booth, which are both in the Currency building. In the meantime, check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and X at BoydFO to see what we've been working on. Again, that's BOECKFO on social media. We look forward to seeing you at the expo.
Staying profitable means finding smarter, more efficient ways to farm. Those decisions turn hard work into something worth passing down. Join us at the Sandhills Global Event Center in Lincoln for the Nebraska Ag Expo on December 9th through 11th, where agriculture meets innovation. From big iron and livestock production to the latest in ag tech and soil health, discover the solutions that can help you do more with less and protect your legacy for generations to come. Sponsored in part by Farm Credit Services of America and Ag Direct.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Dana Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Dana Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT, from cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
The top-ranked Nebraska volleyball team is trying to play its way to the Final Four in Kansas City. Make your plans now to cheer on the Huskers with a VIP travel experience from Sports Trip and the Nebraska Alumni Association. Travel round trip from Lincoln in a luxury motor coach with free parking, plus an overnight stay at the beautiful Hotel Indigo in Kansas City. See details and register at HuskerAlumniTrip.com. Hurry, spots are limited. Register now at HuskerAlumniTrip.com.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln area. We are going to keep this train rolling in a big way with new half-ton and 4x4 pickup trucks starting at $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You heard that right, $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You pick which one works better for you. Please stop on in the dealership and meet the team or check us out at coppellcars.com. Stock number C280930. All deals with approved credit.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal in a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Moms are not supposed to bury their children. This world feels backwards, upside down. A silence heavy, a hollow sound. We hold their names inside our chest, but still we ache, we can't find rest. It isn't natural, it isn't right to say goodbye in the dark of night. We pray for futures, we dream their days. Now we're left standing in this endless haze. Moms are not supposed to bury their child. This grief is heavy, this grief is wild. God have mercy, hear our cry. No mother should have to say goodbye. A tiny angel took to fly, but left us shattered in the night. Our arms are empty, our hearts still bleed, for love that lingers, for what we need. We walk with shadows, we walk with pain, yet love for them will still remain. Carry their laughter, carry their song, in broken hearts that still beat strong. Moms are not supposed to bury their child. This grief is heavy, this grief is wild. God have mercy, hear our cry. No mother should have to say goodbye. Mercy, mercy, Lord have mercy, 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 Lord have Moms are not supposed to bury their child. This grief is heavy, this grief is wild. God have mercy, hear our cry. Your mother should have to say goodbye. We'll hold them close, though they're gone from sight. Forever our children, forever our.
Yes.
All right, we are back here on Faces of a Mother's Grief as we wrap up the show. Just listen to another beautiful song there. Moms are not supposed to bury their children. All right, let's bring it back in and go ahead and wrap up the show. I want to get your guys' just kind of final thoughts as we leave off this episode tonight, and kind of continue the fight together.
What I want to do is just ask each one of them, what's one thing that people misunderstand about grief?
I think grief is limited.
I agree with her. There's a time limit.
I do think that's similar, but to add on to that, it changes. So you do learn to keep it to yourself and kind of suffer alone. So I think what people don't understand is that it might be more outward at the beginning, but it changes. Like it's been longer since I've seen my child than when it first happened. So it's like that time causes a different kind of pain.
Well, I want to pick it back off of what she said when she said that grief. I mean, where it changes, it does. It changes. It's phases and phases. Like this year is 5 years. March would be 6 years, and this year have been the most difficult part of my grief. It have been more heavier than any year that I have endured as far as the loss of my child. And it changes. You don't know what to look for. Like through my cycle of grief, I started in August. My son's birthday's in November, then Thanksgiving, then Christmas. So I'm like, okay, then so last year I dealt with it this way, and this how I felt this time. So I'm a counteract. So I'm gonna be prepared for it, so I can be better, so I can be okay, and I'm gonna deal with it, and I'm gonna do X, Y, Z, and it's not the case. So what you expect for it to be, it's not gonna be that. So it changes. It changes up on you like the weather. So it's crazy.
How grief is a lot misunderstood, and it makes you feel crazy sometimes. Like you're losing your mind. Grief is not a comfortable place to be, and when you have to deal, you just got to deal if you want to heal. So,
and healing is totally different. So healing is not in the sense that how people think healing is. Like when you lose a mother or a father or a grandparent, you don't heal from the loss of a child. I healing looks totally, for me, I feel like it just look different. So I feel like it's the acceptance of being a grieving mother, of the acceptance of being who you are now. This is your new normality. As far as grief, like you said, grief is uncomfortable. However, it's our normality. So our normality is not the same as someone who haven't lost a child. So the uncomfortableness,
most definitely, yes.
the hard part of grief, the heaviness, and you think you're going crazy, but you are not, because number one, we're not used to living this life. It's new to us. It's our new normality, but it's our normal. It's our
Would
new
you
normal.
say that the way that you deal with it at the very beginning kind of set the tone for the rest of time, really? Because you see a lot of people go down a bad path, and that's what I was really focused on. I have other children that I want to be present for, and I don't want this to, it's going to affect their life, but I don't want it to run their life or rule their life or be the main topic of their life. And I feel like how you how you faced it at the beginning kind of sets a tone for it. And you see a lot of people turn to substances or unhealthy behaviors, and it's a conscious choice that you have to make to heal, basically to heal and not take on bad habits.
If they don't have the tools, what's needed, I feel like for those that make
Resilience.
decisions like that, I just feel like if somebody's going down the wrong path as far as like grieving or how they set the tone, I feel like, well, I didn't have the tools right then, but I thought about it when I first lost my son because I wanted to be numb. I'm not a drinker. I don't do drugs. But I'm like, let me give me some alcohol because I don't want to feel nothing. Then, like Marlena, I'm like, okay, then, well, girl, no. Because if you do this, then you're going to be this because I'm not that. So if I do this, then I'm going down the wrong road. So I'm like, I restrained from doing any of it. So I didn't touch anything. I didn't do anything at all. But I feel like, once you gain the tools that you need, have people around you to help you navigate this life, I think, the choice would be
There's a
a little bit
positive
more.
and negative
Yeah,
way
it
to
is.
deal
It
with
is.
it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's just each individual, I think. So, yeah.
All right, as we wrap up the show, I want to thank everybody for coming in once again. Very powerful show, and I'll go ahead and give you guys an opportunity here as we finish it out to say your fallen child's name one more time, so that we can continue, their lives through this radio show.
All right. Tariq, Tyreek Rashid Omar Wallace.
Long live Gabriel Maurice Miller.
Timothy Wallace, forever 32.
Marvin Lee Sullivan, 24, was 24, forever 24.
All right, there we go. That'll wrap it up for the show. Thanks for joining in. We'll be along. Check out for new shows coming up in the coming week. Faces of Mother's Grief with Marlina Bowdery. That will wrap it up.
Thank you. Thank you.